So in the book right now, I'm writing Casser or Cassier, or however you want to say his name, and he says, "Oh, the cleverness of me," which is a Peter Pan reference. But it's something that one of my exes said to me when we were dating so long ago. When I was in my early 20s and in the circus, which means a lot to me. And I gave Ayla a middle and last name, both of which were people that I was with during that time in my life when I was in the circus. If it doesn't mean anything to me, then what's the point? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Thank you. So for me, I love that I can add in these little elements. At that time in my life, I was very aloof. I traveled all the time. I was in, the circus, and Seattle had already happened when I traveled to Seattle when I was 16, which is also kind of like, when he's young and in the market and stuff, is also very much like when I was traveling to Seattle, although I could add a lot more detail to that and make it really real. People called me Peter Pan. People said, because I was just always around and I was very much just like a kid, I just didn't want to grow up. So it means a lot to me that I can put that in the book, and make that reference. I'm gonna do a few more little references to that person as the book goes on, just because it was a very formative part of my life.
Back in has similar doors around the eaves where there's tiny doors to get around the eaves at the top floor. I've never liked them. So did you have spaces in your house where people could hide potentially? Yeah. Don't love it now that I think about it.
What and where they drive. They sell only the best, like the full line of Yokohama tires. Test results, ratings, and reviews are there to assist. Or try the Tire Decision Guide to get a personalized tire recommendation. Tires
This could be a cool angle too.
Or to one of over
Looking
10,000
through down them.
recommended installers. In many areas, they offer most.
This next story will have. I wasn't allowed down there by myself.
Pause. Definitely the most liminal space look. Color palette's pretty cool.
Quest one. I was
No,
25
sir.
at the time, one of the few females that worked this position. For you. And I was actually really good at the job, so
When I was growing up, I didn't know my father. And when I did know my father, I didn't really know him for that long or that well. I lived with him briefly, and he basically rejected me because I was a hooligan, staying up late and going to Rocky Horror in Raleigh. I always just felt like he was disappointed in me. There was a path that he wanted me to be on that I just never could quite get a footing in. I think he was just trying to guide me because I was floundering. And then my mom, same thing, but I mean, they stuck around at least, but she got remarried a few times, so, and I didn't follow suit. I didn't, when I was little, I was given the option to adopt her husband at the time's last name, and I didn't take it, and I'm glad I didn't, because I mean, who is that person to us now? Nobody. But so because my mom, I guess, changed her name back from Fricks a long time ago. So growing up, I was the only one in my family with my last name, and I still am. I don't talk to my dad at all, and my mom and all my siblings have different last names that we communicate with. My son doesn't have my last name, and I've offered it several times, and they considered it. They even said they wanted it at one point, but now they want Valentine, which is difficult for me because, well, I think it's cool because it's, you know, their birthday, Valentine's Day. It's also the day that their mom broke up with me, and it's also the day that I was taken against my will to a house. We'll just say that. So yeah, it was. I'm the last Fricks in my family, and I'm going to be the last Fricks. And because of my surgeries, I can't have another kids, and you know, so that's it. My lineage dies with me in this way, you know, or at least my last name does in this way. You know, and it can be carried on by my dad and his kids because he has 2 kids. You know, but my special brand of Fricks is dead with me and Jasper. I'm entering chapter 10 right now. And what I've realized is that 1 through 10 is still on this one card, these 2 cards, because this is First Meets Death. Everything that happens in chapters 1 through 10 is right here. This doesn't even happen yet. And I still have this much to go. I guess the woods will be gone soon. But so far, I'm up to chapter 11. And I have about 4 readers, and everyone that I've talked to said good things. Says that it's readable, that it gets you invested in the characters, and yeah.
It's right next to Club FT. It's in the same building as that.
So this is kind of what every street in Michigan looks like, from what I've been able to tell. Or at least that I've seen the most of, which is kind of cool. It's just real flat, like flatter than I'd ever expect it to have been. It's kind of cool. I'll go on a ride. And go
At the light, turn left onto Fraser Street.
Fraser. Well, I gotta say, every time I think I'm about to get out of the art world, something manages to pull me back in. And I think Detroit did that for me. It was an amazing trip, and what I noticed the most was that everybody was really nice to me there. It was nonstop work, and I didn't really have a lot of me time or even, autonomy. But I kind of liked taking the break, and I learned a lot about, how to tattoo and sterilization and clients and how to deal with them and just everything, that I really didn't have a lot of knowledge on in the industry. And I feel like I made a lot of really good friends and closer friends still of the ones that I had. And I it was really weird for me to be treated well, People here don't treat me well. They kind of look at me funny. And, I went to work the other day and got served 10 times, at least. I wasn't served not one time in Detroit. I wasn't misgendered. Everyone was polite. They acted like they actually wanted to talk to me at the bar or at the restaurant. The servers were impeccably nice. Everybody was just nicer to me. It made me feel respected. And the whole experience made me realize that, art can be a career. It is taken seriously in some places, and it's not frowned upon everywhere. And living in South Carolina, I'd gotten to the point that I was kind of beaten down to like, okay, fine, like, I guess, as I get older, I'll have to become more conservative and all those horrible things that everyone tells you, but that's not always true, and it depends on where you are and what you do for a living. And I feel like I was validated in being who I wanted to be forever ago, and I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot of humility, but it doesn't mean I can't be who I want to be. So I think my soul needed Detroit. I needed that for me as an artist, and I think I might move there, and if not there, Seattle. Like, I think I really want to finish my apprenticeship, do the phlebotomy thing, and use that to get a house somewhere outside of the Bible Belt. And I want to finish my book, and I've decided to, step up my tattoo game a little, and I bought a glass desk, and I've got some inks in my machine, and I'm going to set up a table to practice on fake skin in my home because I can't always get to my mentors. So I'm really stepping it up, and my room has become a studio again. I have a commission painting over here, and that I have to start on, that I did a photo shoot for. I've got a book over here, and now I have this glass desk that I'm setting up for tattoos. So I I fought this for so long, and you know, railing back and forth with who I am and struggling with it and what life is supposed to be. But this is it for me. This is my life. I'm a crazy artist, bitch, and I do weird shit. I guess growing old is never fair in town.